All right, so what we have here is a country stove. The model is called the Performer. It's an S210 is the model number. It was here when we arrived at the house, but as you can tell, the door glass is cracked. It's in some pretty bad shape. The insulation around the door is completely gone. The glass is loose in it. Inside, the fire bricks are a mess. I can focus in there. Up above is some kind of ventilation tubing that actually holds the fire brick up above. And this tubing is bowed down. I'm not sure if you can see that, but you can kind of see that one there is really kind of bowed down. So I want to replace that. I want to replace the fire bricks that are bad in it. I took all the loose bricks that were up above and took them out and laid them out on the ground to see how many were not broken and how many I still had. So these are the bricks that were taken out of the top. It looks like I really just need this one to complete the top. It also had this insulation that was up on top, and the guys at the fireplace said that they don't really need it. In fact, they said it's probably better that you don't put it on because the newer stuff is so thick that it blocks the airflow that comes out and goes up the chute, which is, I'm not sure I can get it here. Oh, there it is. And there's the vent pipe up in there. The airflow in these things, that if I can stop shaking the camera, builds up in here. This is all covered with fire brick except for a section that's right up here towards the front. And with the heat builds up and then goes around the fire brick and then up over the fire brick and then out the vent, which actually you can see right there. The other thing that I learned on this is this particular stove has this this vent rod in it. They all seem to have this, but when you look down below, there's usually something here, some kind of grating that allows the see past the spider webs, that allows the air to get in. So I'm still not sure, unless it's coming in from up there somehow, how the air actually gets into this door that opens and closes. But they said the air comes in from this thing through, if you can see where I'm at, through this piece of steel right here. There's a bunch of holes in it, which concerns me because it's full of dust, so I would think all those holes would fill up. But they said that the air comes up through here. When you have a fire going, you can actually see the little shoots of flames with the air that comes up through this. So we'll see if that's actually true or not when I actually get this up and running again. The nice folks at my local fire place actually gave me a diagram that shows exactly what bricks, where they're at and where they go. So I'm able to lay that out. In my case, I'm looking at the ceiling of this, and this is the pattern I'm looking at. So I laid them out on the floor here to the exact pattern to see which ones I was missing. All right, now that I have my gloves on, and ideally what I should have done, and I didn't, but I'm anxious to get started on this, is I should have vacuumed this all out and cleaned it out. which I will do before I start installing everything in there. But I'm just trying to get the parts out. So I'm already going to make a mess as I pull these pieces out. So I just figured I'd just clean it at once, once I get it all out. To pull out this this upper grate, now this is this model S210. They have. I was amazed when I went to the fireplace store on how many models of stoves they have. So that's this one. They're all a little different. Some of these grates are removable, some aren't. It depends on the model. This particular grate, I'm not sure if you can see it, but over here are some pipe clamps. And they were on all three of these pipes running across. Those other two, they were on, but they were so old and brittle from the extreme heat that they actually when I touched them, they fell off. This was the only one that didn't fall off, but I don't even have to, thank God I don't have to take a screwdriver to try and actually open this up. But it's so loose, I'm able to slide it over. Also, this main bar that runs across here has these other brackets on it. And you can see right here that comes up, and it actually notches in to a rod. Oh, you can actually see that from here. Actually notches into a rod that holds this up into place. There's one on this end, and there's one over there. So basically you undo that one, and you reach across. And the other thing you can do is grab a hammer. Slide this thing over, and then you can see back here there's another one. Undo that, and that loosens it up. And then once you have those two disconnected, then you should be able to take your hammer and pound this whole thing this way. And what happens is, on this side, you can see the hole up there where this end was shoved into. And now that this pipe clamp over here has been loosened up, it allows this whole rod to slide into this cavity here, which allows it to drop down like that. And if I can pull back a little ways, lift it up, and then push the whole thing back this way to come out of these holes. And then it's just a matter of finagling it. To get it out. And it comes back into focus. And there's the unit. There's those brackets that hold the center up in place. And that's basically it. My fireplace vendor said that they have these in stock. So when I go to the store, I can hopefully pick one of these up, pop it back into place, and of course I'll bring you along for that. So basically, now that that's done, I'll probably take a wire brush and clean it up, since now I have full access up to the ceiling. I guess you call it a ceiling, the lid. Get that all cleaned up, and the door, which I just discovered, in order to pull this door off, there is this little pin. I had just taken this door off before this video, and I just kind of put it back on. When I took it off, of course I'm sitting here, and the door fell after I finally got that pin pulled out. It's basically, it's just a pin that's a pressure pin, and I took a screwdriver and a hammer and just pounded it up. There's no set screw, there's no anything, and it actually fits down into this whole piece is recessed into this part here, and down below it's just a pin that sits into this other piece of metal down there. See if I can set this camera up so that you can see me pull that out and pull the door off. First time I did this, the door fell on my knee as I was sitting here trying to figure out how that comes apart. So I won't do that this time, I hope. All right, I have a screwdriver here. I'm trying to support this. Take this pin, go around the sides. And just kind of work its way up. And you kind of have to do that all the way around, especially if it hasn't come out in a long time. Since I pulled it out, I should be able to take the door and just kind of move it a little bit. Of course, so now I've got it wedged in here. And then pull the pin out. Basically, that's what the pin looks like. And then just make sure you're holding onto the door, because without that, the door will just fall right off and onto your knee, like it did for me. So then basically, let's see. Hopefully you can see that. You just lift the door up and off, and that's it. Actually, now that I have this door off and I'm out here in the light where I can actually take a look at it, I was trying to see how this was put together to see if I think I could still fix this myself. What I discovered here is what's holding. There's two pieces. There's this inner frame, and then there's the decorative outer frame. They're both obviously metal, but if you look here, you'll see this elongated like fender washer, and a looks like an Allen machine screw holding that on. And as I go along this perimeter, of course I can't see anything there, but here's another one, and it's almost coming off right there. But then as I show here, there's supposed to be one here, and it has burnt off or just disappeared. And as I come along, here's another one, and if you look down in there into the slot, you can see that where the screw has actually busted off inside the decorative frame. It's kind of the same thing here. Down inside there, the screw has busted off. So this is going to be pretty tricky. I probably will be able to pull that screw out and that one. I'm going to give it a try and see. But how I'm going to get those screws out, I don't think I can. I mean, I might be able to drill and retap that, but I don't. It's fairly thick. I might be able to and retap it so I can put a new screw on. And I don't know, maybe that outer frame, maybe this outer frame can be cleaned up. So we'll give it a try and see.